Hello, good afternoon everybody. My name is Andrew with Chemical Concepts. I'm here to present the demo along with my colleagues at Integra Adhesives on some new innovation coming from Integra Adhesives. Integra Adhesives is one of the leading brands, well, who am I kidding? The leading brand of stone fabrication adhesives. You guys know them, you guys love them. And 2026 is new year, new innovation, new Integra. All the new products, solving challenges that fabricators need. Again, I'm Andrew with Chemical Concepts. We're the leading distributor of Integra Adhesives and have all sorts of fabrication supplies, including all the adhesives that you need to do your to complete your projects, get them done on time and with the aesthetics that you're looking for, with the performance that you're looking for. So I'm going to introduce some of my colleagues with Integra. Come on up, Bradley. You guys know Bradley. You love Bradley. Bradley, he needs no introduction, but I'll let him do it anyway.
Integra Adhesive. I've been around for a little while now, so I'm considered a technical sales support specialist. Yeah. Oh, man, that's nice. Okay. Most of you know me. If you don't come to see me, anyway, guys, I've been around for a while now, so great.
Chris is hiding behind the TV.
Hey everyone, Chris Pinkos, Chemical Concepts rep with IPS Adhesives. Brand new to the role, but I'm excited to get started.
So also to say that we've got about 6 people here with viewing this demo, but we are live at the SFA cage. We're live on Facebook. So we got probably 50,000 people, I'm thinking. All 50,000 SFA members are tuning in right now live. You know who you are. We're looking for you. Write in the comments. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. We will not answer them at all. But put them in there and let's start a conversation. In fact, if you could start a fight in the comments, that would be even better. So what I want you to do is, this is the Integra overview slide. You can see the new product range. We're going to talk in more detail about these new products. And then for those of you who don't know, it's amazing. Integra's been around in this industry for a long time, probably 20 years, maybe more. I don't know if you have the exact number. 20 plus years. We don't know the exact number. We don't know anything, but except about adhesives. But 20 years of experience. And if you don't know, people still come by our booth every year and say, what is this? What's Integra? So for those of you that don't know, Integra Adhesives was one of the pioneers, or the pioneer, of cartridge-based pre-colored adhesives. Now the origin of the technology comes from the solid surface market. Many years ago, MMA, pre-colored adhesives started being used for, Corian, Meganite, those kinds of LG, Wilson Art, those kinds of materials. And people at Fabrication started using them and saying, hey, you know what? This stuff's pretty good for stone. And it solves a lot of the challenges that stone fabricators have, where primarily at the time people were hand mixing, matching colors by eye. That creates a lot of challenges, a lot of inefficiencies. And people started liking the idea of having pre-colored cartridges that just keeps it simple for everybody. And over the years, they've launched new products specifically for stone fabrication, and we've really just built on that. So here, next slide, Chris. So let's talk about outdoor bonding. So the first new product I'm going to introduce is specifically for outdoor bonding. So why would Integra Adhesive launch an outdoor bonding adhesive? Well, the current landscape for outdoor adhesives leaves some to be desired. I've been talking to fabricators at these shows for years. I've been in and out of shops for years, and fabricators have sent me pictures. In fact, thank you to the members of the Stone Fabricators Alliance, everybody that submitted pictures online. I made a post about a week ago saying, you've had them, show me your horror stories, show me the pictures of the things that didn't go right, where the adhesive let you down, where the design didn't work out. And I've seen hundreds of pictures like this, so I said, please submit them. This is the Hall of Shame. So this are pictures submitted by real fabricators of real jobs. And let's talk about why for a second, because the outdoor bonding environment for a stone countertop seam, let's say in Colorado, is an extremely demanding application for an adhesive. If you're doing an outdoor deck seam on a piece of black absolute in direct sun in Colorado, that could be 120 degrees in the direct sun, and negative whatever in the evenings. You got moisture, you got rain, you got the elements. So fabricators have had a really hard time finding suitable adhesives that will perform in these environments. And Integra's been listening to their customers, just like me. They've had people come up to them at these booths and ask them over and over again, what do you guys got for outdoor seams? What do you guys got for outdoor kitchens? So that brings us to Horizon. So as I made a promo video, there are great things on the horizon for Integra Adhesives. Horizon is the next generation indoor-outdoor adhesive. So some of you who are more familiar with Integra's product line might be familiar with Integra Ultra. You also might be familiar with Integra Zero. So Horizon replaces Integra Ultra and Integra Zero, and it gives you the best performance characteristics of each without the worst drawbacks of each. So Ultra was a great product. We sold a lot of Ultra, but let me tell you what the problems were with Ultra that Horizon seeks to improve. So first of all, Ultra, this is the Integra cartridge, the XI, and we'll talk about XI Plus, but the XI is the #1 flagship product from Integra. A lot of people don't know what an XI is. They just say Integra, because when they say Integra, that generally means XI, just like Kleenex is a whatever a Kleenex is, a tissue. That's it. I know words. I do speak English. The XI that fabricators know and love is a 10-to-1 product, a 250 milliliter cartridge. The Ultra was a 2-to-1 product, 215 milliliter, with a different tube, a different cartridge, a different gun, and a different tip. So if a customer's been a long time Integra customer, they have 100 tubes in their shop, and they have to go do an outside job, and of course, do your customers always plan ahead, fab shops? You always, when customers say, you know what, you can do my countertop, but I need it in 3 months from now, and I don't care when you install it. No, when our customers call us, they always need it yesterday. So the fabricator would have a job, they need it next week, and now they find out at the last minute that they need a new gun, a new tip, they don't have the right glue, they don't have it in the shop, and these are some of the pain points that we had. So now, by contrast, Horizon is an indoor and outdoor glue, and it works it's the same exact cartridge, same tip, same gun. So that's one of the #1 complaints that we hear from fabricators is, man, why is there so many different guns and so many different cartridges? We want to try and simplify and streamline things for you. So that's the first benefit. The second is, Ultra was at a much higher price point. So, I don't know, $38, $39, $40, $44, yeah, depending on quantities, whatever. So then they had to buy a special, more expensive glue. So now Horizon is at a much lower price point, so we lowered the price. So that's another thing that fabricators love to hear. Now you can have one glue that sits on your shelf, that's dripless, that doesn't sag, that doesn't drip all over your customers' cabinets, and if you get a job next week that's got to be outdoor, and you already have the right color, you don't have to buy a new one. So that's going to save you guys money on the price, and it's going to save you guys money on duplicate inventory, and it's going to save you guys money on callbacks. So Bradley's our technical expert. I'm going to pass the mic to him for a second. He's going to talk about some of the specs that we have on the screen. Take it away, Bradley.
Thank you, Andrew. So guys, usually when we're doing outdoor adhesives, we usually didn't have any complaints about color. Most of the people that have a failure have it to a freeze-thaw cycle, okay? So what we did, we sent this through a rigorous test. We sent an ASTM test 1183, which is a cyclic testing for adhesives. Now, I say this started about 2019, so we brought the Ultra out the first time. There was no way to test this product. We used to just put it on top of the building, put it outside, put it in the parking lot. But now we have a way to test this with ASTM. So what we actually did was you cure the adhesive, let it set. Then you put it directly in the oven. You get it to 160 and leave it there for 48 hours. When you take it out of the oven, you don't let the temperature come down. You sit it straight in submerged water at 73F for 48 hours. Then you pull it out and stick it straight in the freezer at 14 for another 8 hours. You pull it out again, and then you put it back in the oven for 64. And you're trying to get this to imitate in outdoor or extreme weather conditions. So we've done this. This total is going to be 230 hours. Now we didn't just do this once and quit. We've done this over and over and over. Then what we do once we get through, none of the seams failed. So at that point, we put it on the instrument. So as you can see, and we have all this lab, we have a certified lab in our facility, so we can do all the testing, all the UV testing. But we put this on the instrument here, and it breaks it and actually gives us our PSI per square foot. So, and what we did, guys, we did not lose any strength at all for this testing. And just to give you an idea, this is dectin. We actually broke dectin. We broke the specimen at a substrate failure, which is very unusual. Then also absolute black. You guys know what this absolute black is? Well, we actually broke the substrate. And that's probably running about 4,000 to 6,000 PSI for that to break. So dectin, some of the dectin that we've tested has been well over 7,000 PSI. So most of your natural stones and quartzes, about 3,000 or 4,000 working. But you really did select absolute black, okay? So we've done a lot of testing on it, and we did this. It's taken a while to get this product to the market. We started talking about this, I think, 4 years ago. So for once, we actually went out and done the testing, you know what we should do. Go ahead for your next side, Chris, okay? And then this is a UV resistant. Now this is a good one, you know. Here again, years ago, we just laid outside on the asphalt on the top of the building just to see if it would yellow. But now, with a QUV, and behind it's a panel right, well, this panel up is just a whole bunch of lights in there, and you can set them for different settings, for different type of lights. But for this test, and this is an ISO certified test too, so for this test you use a 340 LED light, and you're doing it 20-hour increments to equal up 100 hours. But what's neat about this is, at the end of this test, it's equivalent to 1 year of full sun in Florida at noon. So, I don't know if everybody knows Florida, but in Florida, it's pretty rough there at noon. And I want you to look, so this is ours coming out of the oven after the 100 hours, and this is competition. We won't mention their names. But if you look between these two black dots here, that center line is what the control look like going in. So after 100 hours, that's going to do 1.42 units. To be successful at this UV test, you have to be under 2. So 1.42 is what ours moved. And this one here, there's a total color of 15.3 units of color change, which is a lot. So when people say that they have a UV adhesive, is it really an indoor-outdoor UV rated adhesive? We can get test results, can they? Next slide, please. Also,
Yeah, so just to piggyback on that, so we talked about what is the landscape for indoor-outdoor adhesives. So I think Bradley touched on a bunch of things that are really relevant about how the color stability comes in, and there's a lot of products on the market. That's another pain point that fabricators have, which is there's a lot of products that are marketed as outdoor products, but then what we find is the claims, and then when we test them in the lab, we find that those claims are not really passing muster in the lab. And I think a lot of fabricators have had that experience. Hey, they told me this works outside, and then they're having all these problems that are yeah. And so that's one of the things is, and talking about the chemistry, so why would a product be good outside? So what kind of chemistries are found in outdoor adhesives? Again, I won't name names here, but typically you have urethane-based products, you have acrylic-based products, you have epoxy-based products. So the Ultra was a urethane-based product, but you know, some people are fans of the urethane-based chemistries, but the urethanes are a lot more flexible, but they're also a lot lower strength. So that's where you see some of the failures in the field with the urethane-based chemistries, and they don't have as consistent adhesion as we would see to all substrates. So if you go in the SFA, I go in the SFA a lot, you read some of the comments, there's some people that are vocal proponents of urethane technology, and there's a lot of non-believers of urethane technology that say, you know what, this cost me, in fact, I remember a specific comment, maybe if you go on the page, you've seen it. The guy said, hey, I lost $30,000+ on a big job. It was all urethane, it all came apart. So, different schools of thought. Then you look at the polyester, vinyl esters. Some of those products have claims. Sometimes people just use them and they're not sure, and they're not rated for outside. So that's a good question to ask, is the adhesive you're using outdoor rated? So polyesters, vinyl esters are not suitable for outdoors. Then you have epoxies. And epoxy is a chemistry that's inherently not UV stable. Epoxy or yellow, there's a lot of products that are epoxy that are marketed for outdoor performance, but epoxies are typically very rigid, they're very brittle, they can't take the expansion and contraction, and they may be heavily loaded up with UV stabilizers, which help reduce the yellowing, but over a long enough period of time, you're going to see some level of yellowing, and that's what our lab testing kind of showed. So Carrie has these here. So just to give you some ideas, so this is the Integra here. Here, Bradley, why don't you just show the walk around? So if anyone's walking around here, we can show you what the pucks look like. You know, we had the picture on the screen, but holding something in your hands kind of really tells the story, and you can get a sense of what the kind of yellowing that we're seeing with the competition and what the Horizon performance for UV resistance looks like. And while Bradley's going around, I'll take some questions too. Let me just stop there. We like this to be interactive, not just sitting here listening to me ramble on. Anybody have any questions about Horizon? Okay, we got a question from the audience about bleeding. So again, this is a new product. I haven't worked with it myself, but the word from the Integra technical team is that Integra Horizon is a non-bleeding product that's specifically designed for marbles and quartzites and will not bleed. So that's a good question. Any other questions on Horizon? Yep. Yeah, so, well, Bradley's the one walking around. We had the specs on here. Here, you got the specs up, Chris? You had the speed on there or no? For Horizon? Is it the same speed? Yeah, same speed as XI, so it's about that 15 to 20 minutes. And that's the nice thing about it too, is that it's pretty interchangeable with the products that if you use 0 and you used XI, it's going to work the same way, you use it the same way, it's the same colors, but now it just has that outdoor performance. So we have 100 plus colors available in Horizon. It is at a different price point. Again, it's significantly less expensive than Ultra, but it's a little bit of a premium compared to XI. So if you are looking for more economics and you don't need outdoor performance, you can use the XI. If you'd rather have one glue on the shelf and not worry about the inconvenience, it's about, let's say, 10 to 12% more expensive than the XI in terms of the pricing. And of course, there's pricing depends on quantity. So indoor, outdoor. Go ahead, Chris. Okay, so that's that on Horizon. Let's see, I will demo the product here, and then we'll move on to the XI Plus. So I'm going to ask John, you can just leave that. I'm going to ask John, why don't you just start gluing together, just put some beads out, and I'll kind of narrate what you're doing, because I can't hold the microphone and glue stuff at the same time. I have some abilities, that's not one of them. All right, so just kind of basics with cartridge adhesives. What John did, first thing is he's taking off the cap. He's got the Integra applicator. Again, it's the same gun that works with the XI and the 0 that you're used to. We've got a cup over here for you. And we always recommend, this is again the basics, but you come here to learn, right? So we always recommend purging the cartridge. I don't know if every fabricator is doing this, but you have the A side and the B side, and we always purge a little bit before we put the tip on to make sure that we can visually check the activator is coming out. Now he puts the mixing tip on, and you already saw what the cured puck samples look like. So you insert the tip, give that a quarter turn, and then the other quality control step that we recommend is we then purge the mixer. So you just do a little bit just to make sure the activator is coming out. Now we're going to purge the mixer, and we generally recommend 1 mixer length of adhesive to come out. And now he's just going to run a bead on. We have some porcelain samples here, and then this will be curing while we're talking. By the time we're done, you'll see what the cured product looks like. You can also come up and see when we're done. We have a miter. If you guys were here last year, we did an Integra challenge. We had a fun competition to see hand mix versus cartridge, and we glued up this miter piece in the competition. So this is with the Integra product here. You get an idea of what the finished product is going to look like. So anyway, and it's that simple. So that's how you use the cartridge-based adhesives. It's pre-colored. The color that we have right there is chameleon. Chameleon is one of our most popular colors. There we go. Great job, John. Wow, that guy can use a cartridge. That's amazing. Holy G. Holy crap. Okay.